the building as the Thunder get set for another showdown versus the Lakers, with the series shifting to LA for games 3 and 4. And the Lakers will need all hands on deck, including Jared Vanderbilt, who is ready to return after sitting out Thursday night with a dislocated finger. Game 2 saw Austin Reeves bounce back in a big way. He led all scorers with 31 points. Tip-off at Crypto.com Arena coming up in 1 hour. As we say hello and welcome to Access Sportsnet Lakers, brought to you by Mercury Insurance. Allie Clifton alongside the Hall of Famer. Big game, James Worthy. Of course, you got Danny Green. Hi, guys.
Welcome home.
I don't know what's going on. I'm jittery. It's just weird. It has been a while. Studio. How you guys doing?
Good.
Smooth.
Yeah.
Mother's Day coming up tomorrow.
Yeah.
Any big plans?
Mother's Day? No.
Okay.
You know, just honor my mom, who's been gone for a while. But yeah, I still think of her tomorrow. Yeah, big day. My kid's mom.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Mine is fairly new mom, so
yeah.
the wife, yeah. So
big plans?
Not big, but we got some plans.
Yeah.
You, the sister,
Yeah, I guess that's a reminder that I need to make the phone call, send the flowers, send the gifts.
Gotta have a Mother's Day, Father's Day, Auntie Uncle Day. You know what I mean?
Yeah. When do those days come in?
There you go.
Auntie Uncle days.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, well, we got some business to take care of. The Lakers, they prepare to take on the Thunder in Game 3 of the Western semifinals through 2 games here. Let's take a look at some notes for the Lakers. Not a good one to start with. 23 opponent points off turnovers this series. The 17.5 bench points they're averaging this series. They got a record of 2-21 when it comes to being down 0-2 in a best-of-7 series. And they're 2-1 at home in the playoffs, 4-4 in the last 3 playoffs. So despite being down 0-2 right now, you can't deny their efforts to try to overcome the odds, I guess, that are against them. Big Game, I'll start with you. What have you seen in this series that's kind of just maybe giving you that hope, maybe the internal worthy clap that you want to give?
I've seen some good basketball by the Lakers.
Yeah.
Some really good basketballs. You know, they've lost games in spurts, you know, and the things that we always talk about in crucial moments, you know, turnovers, offensive rebounds, second opportunities for Oklahoma, not shooting the ball well. You know, we're a better shooting team than we've shown. So with all that said, being down 0-2, I'm like, okay, if we just keep scratching, keep doing what we're doing, and we know some shots are going to go down. We know Luke's going to hit some shots. Austin is back on track. So, you feel okay. You hate that you're down. You've lost 2 games on the road. That's the way it's supposed to go until you break that ice at some point. But you definitely got to try to, open it up at home.
Yeah, for me, I've seen a lot of positives in both those games. They were competitive. They were close. Like, a lot of people will say they're going to get swept, blown out. Like, that didn't happen. The score is not showing what the game actually was like. Yeah. Through the first game, the first 3 quarters, it was really close. Even the last game, it was close, even to the fourth, up until, like, the last 6 to 8 minutes or so. It kind of went back and forth, but they were competitive, and the biggest thing was the turnovers. Of course, they could shoot better. They will at home. The other guys will shoot better. Marcus Smart will shoot better. And they'll have a lift. Austin has got more of a rhythm now, but if they can not turn the ball over, it'll give them that edge to overcome those fourth quarters, which they've kind of had big deficits in. But defensively, ultimately, like a great game plan on SGA, kind of limiting him, not letting him get in rhythm, making others beat you. Those other guys won't shoot it as well, also on the road. You hope anyway. But you got to make the miss. You got to scramble. You got to play good defense. You got to talk. You got to play your butt off. But there's a lot of bright spots. OKC played really well at home, and that's a tough building to play in. Like, that building is like, they say +4 or +6 for most people at home. They're like a +10 in that building. So I didn't expect them to win, but them showing that they have the poise to keep it close gives a lot of positivity coming back home to, Crypto.
Tough building to play in, let alone win, to your point. I'm going to come back to you on this just from the standpoint of the Lakers may be down, but they're not out. There are 2 teams that have come back from 0-2 to win it. You got the 69 Lakers team. After losing the first 2 games at home, they rallied to win and go 4-2. And then the 0-4 Lakers team, of course, following an 0-2 start, they returned home, secured wins in 3 and 4. And then, of course, D-Fish's legendary .4 shot there in Game 5. We were just kind of talking about you've been on both sides of series like this. Sometimes all it comes down to, though, when you're on this side of things, as the Lakers are, is belief.
That's pretty much in confidence, right? And one game at a time. Once you get that one game it helps build the confidence. Strangely enough, the first time that I was on the side of this, being down or being up 0-2 was against OKC. And they ran up 4 straight on us when they came back home to that building and got a chance to, get the 2 games at home. And once they won those 2 games, they built confidence, and it was kind of hard for us to put them back on their heels. Excuse me. The other time I was down 0-2 was in Toronto. And it was against the Milwaukee Bucks. So we got a chance to even it up at home, get that game 3, which was a tough one because it was a hard fought one. Game 4, we built confidence, actually won comfortably, like a 20-point blowout. And next, when a series is tied up, it's a new ball game. And then from there, we just stole one in Milwaukee, won 4 straight. So I've been on both sides where I've won 4 straight and also lost 4 straight because I know how tough it is also to play in that building in OKC.
I believe that, brother. I've witnessed it. We've never been down 0-2, but you said the right word. You have to believe, man. If you don't believe, and what I see in the Lakers is they believe, man. They got that little situation with the referees. They got to let that go. You got to go into the game knowing that you're playing against 8. Really.
Especially
OKC,
yeah.
And so just get through that. Like I said, we were down 3-2 in the finals in '88, and coming back home, need to win 2 in a row. And we just never thought we were out of it. We just believed against a good Piston team. So if you believe, collectively and continue to do what you do and clean up some of those mistakes, you get some momentum. But I hope that's the case.
You know who never loses belief? Our guy. We're going to head down to Crypto.com Arena, check in with Lakers reporter Mike Trudell. Hello, Mike.
Hey guys, welcome downtown. Wait a second. Did Big Game just casually say that he had never been down 0-2
in
a series before? I mean, it makes sense, right? I was like, do I have time to search this on Basketball Reference? And I was like, well,
can't remember, but we could have.
Probably not. Probably not. There's no reason that you would have been
question that.
with all of that talent. The 4 #1 overall picks on the team. Just, man, you guys made it look so easy. And Danny Green's been on some pretty good teams himself. All right, let's get to J.J. Redick here, guys. And look, going back to the first 2 games, one thing was pretty clear. The Lakers did indeed do a great job on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. But what happens sometimes against teams that are as good and as deep as OKC, they found many other ways to hurt the Lakers. So that's where we started with JJ, wondering if there will be some sort of adjustment that they'll have to make here in Game 3 with Shai and how they defended him. Here's JJ.
Again, I repeat what I said after the game. We've got to be better in the non-Shai minutes, and we'll look at different lineups and different coverages in those minutes.
And with the focus that you've had on Shai, and obviously you have successfully limited him, where with the rest of their roster, what has stood out the most? Like, where have they kind of hit you in those spots when he hasn't been out there?
Yeah, I mean, Mitchell and McCain have hurt us in those non-Shai minutes, and then Chet's hurt us the whole game. I think you got to be willing to live with something. Shai playing one-on-one thus far in the series, we haven't been willing to live with. So you're going to be in rotation. That can lead to smalls on bigs at the hole, and the offensive rebounding from Chet has really hurt us. We're looking at different options for that.
JJ, will Jared Vanderbilt play tonight?
He's available.
That's incredible.
You guys spent a significant chunk of the regular season playing zone. I think it was the third highest frequency of your defense compared to the rest of the league. Hasn't been as much of a factor, not just in this series, but the playoffs overall. I guess what contributed to you guys not playing as much zone, and is that a viable option for this series?
I thought our man-to-man defense got better. Again, we had 48 straight games without a 2-day break, so practicing wasn't on the table. But the film and walkthrough was beneficial in improving our defense throughout the season. And the zone it's matchup based, it's personnel based. There's a reason when we were playing a lot of zone, we didn't play it at all against the Clippers because Kawhi was on the floor. There's certain guys you don't want to play zone against. But again, it certainly could be an option at some point.
All right, so there's some of the options laid out there by J.J. Redick, and we'll see if the Lakers do indeed not double Shai as much. Likely he's going to be in the 30s, but maybe that cuts off the water of some of those other players. He mentioned Mitchell, mentioned McCain off the bench, and then Chet, who's been terrific throughout. So we'll see how that plays out here in Game 3, guys.
Mike, I stand corrected. We got swept in 1989 by the Pistons. Yeah, we were down. Yeah.
I don't know. Kareem was older by that point. That doesn't really count.
Yeah, we put an asterisk beside that. Thank you, brother.
This is where we say, Big Game, let's
like
not
your
let the
first story
facts get
better.
in the way of a good story. Yeah, exactly. Indeed.
The principle of it remains true. Yeah.
We appreciate it, Mike Trudeau. We'll talk to you coming up later in the show. Thunder and the Lakers tip off Game 3 at 5:30. Jared Vanderbilt set to return to the lineup after suffering a dislocated finger and sitting out Game 2. We'll see if he can provide a spark for the purple and gold as they look to pick up a win in tonight's crucial Game 3. Plus, the scary part for the Lakers, OKC